Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Saiki here, and today we're going to be doing the long-awaited, long-requested stream, the Lunar New Year Ripper stream, the stream that I keep avoiding. We're going to be finally doing it. Ripper got a brand new skin, way too many skins. I have way too many skins, but we have another one. Where is it? It's somewhere here. All right, there it is. He got a brand new Lunar New Year skin, and today we're going to be playing with it after I fix the size of the screen, because the screen is broken, apparently. Alright, guys, but we're going to be playing with the skin. For me, it's not the skin that does it, it's the accessory, which not this accessory, although I love the Mr. Blanket accessory. It's actually this accessory, which is a super dope accessory where you put survivors in a lantern, and we're going to be playing with him today. So if you guys enjoy the stream, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for everyone joining in today, and we're going to get right started, right into it. We're going to get started right into it, I guess. And, yeah. I guess we'll do Hunter rank. Surely they're not going to ban Ripper, right, guys? Oh, we're going against Tato. Looks like someone with the same profile picture as Tato, at least. Alright, I don't know why this gets broken every once in a while, but we got to fix it. I'm sorry, Hula Blue. Not today, man. Not today. We gotta pick a D-tier hunter today, unfortunately. Alright, anyway. Who are we banning? I don't know. We really could ban Priestess. We probably should ban Priestess. I don't have time to pick another survivor. Let's just pick something else. But Priestess is definitely annoying. It's also really loud. Gamekeeper. Honestly, they might ban Ripper today. If they ban Gamekeeper. Okay, game is a little loud for me. Maybe it's just my headphones. Alright. Let's fix the screen a little bit. It's still not really fixed. I don't know why this happens. It just happens every once in a while where the screen just breaks for no reason. Okay. This is probably fine, right? There's a little bit left. No, it needs to be a little bigger. Alright, I should probably pick Ripper. Before I forget. This will be a pretty chill rank session. I'm not a high tier hunter, so it should be pretty easy. That looks a little bit better, right? Alright, anyway. Every once in a while, it just breaks and I gotta restart that. My foot itches. Alright, we should be fine. We're gonna be carrying Warp. Feel like, oh right, they see who my hunter is, right? No, they knew who I am. I don't have a surprise factor anymore. Oh yeah, it'd be funny if I accidentally went Hula Blue. Who is this person? Velarina. Alright. Starting the stream, I'm already scared of my viewers. What's going on? I think I know who that might be. Welcome everyone else to the stream, though. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Vela. We got Davi Bird, Maxi. Maxi, the owl profile picture. How could I forget? Someone does spawn here, right? I wasn't really looking at the screen. Oh, you're behind? Oh my god, someone actually knows the good route for church. This is actually what you're supposed to do against Ripper, except he kind of ran into me. How? How did he run into me? He can literally see me through the windows. Well, anyway, he's looking really dead over here. This is a very bad example of this route. This is a very bad example of route. This is a very good route. This is a great start to your kite, but he kind of messed it up. Okay, and we also got the hell chair here. This is one of my, I'm recognizing this chair. Me and Miki have, like, talked about it. He, like, brought this attention to me. I'm like, Miki, you're absolutely right. This chair might, I don't know, honestly, might be worse than basement sometimes. It honestly might be worse than basement sometimes. But yeah, this is a really nasty chair. Almost as bad as basement, honestly. You have to be so careful also, because a lot of survivors, I don't know if it's like this in high tier, because I don't play Hunter in high tier, but I do wonder just how many people use Sneak as a persona ability, where their tracks are not seen within 22 meters, I think it was. Got a pretty big buff in the persona changes a while back. And since then, a lot of people have been using it, at least in low tier. You'd see it every once in a while. And honestly, you'd see it quite a bit on Doctors especially. Doctors back then before the buff especially love to run it. So I guess there's nothing new there. Oh man. That's actually a really good play from the puppet. Too bad we had the warp. He ended up damaging himself for nothing, so that's nice for us. There's no chair here. Seriously? Alright, I guess that's the price I pay for the hell chair existing. Sometimes that chair doesn't spawn, but it's an extremely good rocket chair. Very good. Especially as a first chair, second chair. Very difficult to rescue from and easy to see survivors from far. Which is going to give you a good shot at getting damage on them early on and maybe even prevent the rescue. Let's see. Unfortunately, I can't see when she drops a page. And that is really annoying that she can vault now. She can vault now while we're doing, while we're trying to round the corner. And while we're getting pushed by the page. Because it becomes extremely annoying. So what's up here? We got one cipher being worked on right now. I know there's another one with a lot of progress somewhere. It's probably at church. Oh, yeah, there's someone at church. Oh yeah, they're already coming. Very weird angle to approach the rescue from. I don't know about this angle. I don't know if this is the best angle to approach a rescue from. Into the corner of the wall? I don't know. Okay, since I did use the small foggy blade, he actually won't leave a fog trail. That's actually going to cost us the double down, unfortunately. He might flywheel. Flywheel? I feel like he would have flywheeled already, if anything. Did he have a good chance at flywheeling them? Not really. No way, Hunter rank, yes. People have been telling me, Psyche, you said you do a Lunar New Year Ripper stream. Where is it? I don't remember promising that, but they keep telling me. I'm like, okay, fine. Fine, we'll do it. We'll do it. I think, listen, I know the Lunar New Year Doctor never came out, but at least I'm making sure to do Lunar New Year Ripper. I remember when I didn't do it, it was because Ripper was just, well, not Ripper, but, what's her name? Doctor was such a bad survivor back then. Nowadays, Doctor is seriously one of the best survivors in the game. Okay, and you bet we're taking this guy to the hell chair again. Oh, he's not even struggling. The one problem with this accessory is you can't tell when they're not struggling. This guy was just not struggling at all. He was just sitting in the lantern. And yeah, pretty easy first win. I imagine a lot of these games, as long as I don't play bad and I'm paying attention to cipher machines, which honestly that game I wasn't. As long as we do those things, it should be pretty easy to win these games. Especially because Ripper's not a hard character to play. Is this a new shirt? This is not a new shirt. This is just a shirt I haven't worn in a long time. I have like sets of different clothes that I consider my pajamas. And I have favorites, obviously, and this is not one of my favorites. It's not very breathable. I like the other ones way more. I guess the Mario shirt isn't very breathable, to be fair, but I think I like it better than this one. This one is just a little... Honestly, it's kind of the same size as the Mario shirt, though. Anyway, it's not very stretchy. Alright, 1 second, guys. I clearly need to deal with something. Alright. Val, we can talk about it later, but I can't do this right now on stream. This is literally my stream time on Mondays, Thursdays. If you've watched me for 4 years, you'll know that much. Give me a break. Alright. We're going to go into the next game here. Hopefully not worrying about anything else. You need that Zack skin rerun so badly? You mean the one that's like, ah! That one's a banger. I haven't seen anyone use that one in a while. Yeah. That knight's route wasn't a bad route. That is a serious thing I will do against hunters with bad mobility. Like, Ripper is one of them. Assuming he doesn't have his invisibility where he goes a little bit faster. And of course, stuff like Geisha or Wu-Chang. Assuming the Wu-Chang hasn't already used his umbrella, you really wouldn't want to use that against any hunter that can easily catch up and catch you off guard. So, it is pretty good. It's not bad. It's just he didn't see where we were and he kind of ran into us. And yeah, we didn't even need a swing there. Usually perfumers should force us to swing. It's not that hard to react. Did I do a basic hit? I did do a basic hit. He actually has a different animation for a basic hit. First time I see that. Swing? Come on. Ripper's got this BS hitbox sometimes. It would be nice if she used this palette, just so no other survivors can use it anymore. And she's dead. I am a little bit scared about the hitbox of this Foggy Blade. It is exactly the same, but it doesn't look the same. I would love to chair here. The only issue with chairing here is that it is easier to rebound, but this is not a very good area to rebound against Foggy Blades anyway. So I think we're going to take it. And we're just going to chair here. So is this the same puppeteer, or is this another guy with the same skin? I'm getting deja vu. What's going on here? This is very weird. Did the last guy at least have Tide Turner? Okay. His puppet is actually about to run out because he just used it not too long ago. Let's see. Maybe we can get him here. Should be easy. Man, that's a great example of just a Ripper BSing survivors right there. Ugh. Val, come on, dude. Don't be talking like that on stream. I already asked you not to say that kind of stuff in DMs either. It's creeping everyone out, including me. Imagine if Perfume actually worked with Tide Turner. Would that be an OP buff for Perfumer? I honestly don't think so. Could we get that buff for Perfumer, please? That would be a pretty good buff. Okay, there's a survivor up here. It's just a batter. Also, we haven't even seen the batter one time yet. And I did end up, I think, giving a free rescue to the journalist, assuming she's the one who rescued. I don't know what these people are doing. She's literally running away from the window. I don't even need a swing. I don't even need a swing. Usually, I keep thinking I used, like, the wrong attack there because of his attack animation. But these people, I don't even need a swing. So we should be fine here. We should be fine. We shouldn't be able to lose these matches. I swear, if I lose these matches, if I tie or lose a match, it's gonna be because of something like that. Because it's gonna be my own fault here. That's okay. Not a big deal. Get a little bit of our fog right there. Run back in the fog so we can get it back. We're gonna have to lose it here, though. I think. If she's gonna vault the window, that is. I mean, we can make sure we gain back our invisibility here by using the fog like this. It also boosts our vaulting speed, so it makes up for the fact that we even threw it like that. And we don't have our big foggy blade yet, so we have to just wait. I mean, Ripper in areas like this, once you have your invisibility, he is really hard to stop. It is extremely difficult to stop Ripper at this stage of the game. Once he's invisible, especially with his full presence, now making him faster than he used to be. He used to not be this fast in full presence, and they buffed it by 5%. 5% stacks with other things like Mock, so it really does get noticeable in the long run. So is he going to use his puppet? I mean, it is possible he could see us. It is possible to see the Ripper if you're looking super carefully. Okay. Wonder if we can... we're not going to be able to hit that guy. He probably has flywheel. Do you have flywheel? Anyway, he's dead. How many games will we get in today, too? Because we got... Wonderful! Could you give praise? Praise! Sure, why not? I don't know why the game asks this like every once in a while. I did not re-download the game recently, so I don't know why it's asking that. It asks that after like 3 games when you download the game first time. Or if you delete it and re-download it, but... Alright, I don't know. Praise, I guess. One of the weirdest messages I see. Yeah, that exists. That exists when you first download the game or anytime you delete the app and re-download it. Sprinter's in the building. Where is Sprinter? Sprinter, are you here? Sprinter, are you impressed? So I'm thinking we're gonna ban Priest this year, probably. Priestess, and I guess Mechanic is fine. Dakota's not a big deal. The review makes you laugh. Listen, you could just give 5 stars, and I don't think you need to leave a review. You could if you wanted to. I don't know though. I'm assuming you can give a review without like giving a word review, just the stars, but I honestly don't know. Alright. I can't be asked to deal with this, dude. You should have given them 1 star. Celebrate your friendship anniversary. Discord is telling me I have a friendship anniversary with Luca. Yo, Luca, thank you so much for being my friend for 3 years. Also, I'm good. Thank you, man. But yeah. Did I already look at the survivor? I think I already looked at them, man. Lost my Hunter's Instinct already at the start. Also, I have Hunter's Instinct for some reason without trump card. Should I just go after that guy? I really want to, but yeah, Discord has that apparently. It's a new thing, I guess. First time I'm seeing it too. Your composer's such an annoying survivor to deal with, as Hunter. Can I hit you, please? Thank you. Is the computer fan always this loud? I think it's because I've used the computer fan. Well, not the computer fan, but I've used the computer all day today to do something else. Training for a new job. And it's better than the old one. It's honestly a good thing that the old job fired me, because I'm actually getting a way better job now. Yikes! I forgot about that. Why did that show up just now? That is real embarrassing. Okay, anyway, bro. Taylor's watching this stream. This stream is over, dude. This stream is over, dude. Great, great. I'm so confused because why weren't there notifications before? Luca's the youngest person here. Listen, I'm not about to ask Luca's age here, but is that true? We gotta have like a 10-year-old out here watching somewhere, guys. Because you gotta remember, when I first picked up Identity 5, my brother who played this game, he was 11 years old and he was a top 3 survivor on the leaderboard at least. He was playing every single day for like 7-8 hours. It was a long time, dude. It was a long time. You're 20? Is this true, chat? Or is he lying? Also, this guy's back! Our favorite Matador's back! Welcome back, buddy! I'm so happy to see him. Did he at least know he still didn't make the rescue? I'm actually surprised we hit the composer off of chair immediately. I'm not even gonna bother hitting you. We're gonna get our invisibility back instantly here as long as we chair soon enough. Although I guess we would get it just by chairing him too. We don't even need to keep it on the ground. It would be nice if we could chase the Matador again. Is he working on that cipher? Oh, he is working on that cipher. But I'm just gonna leave him be. Enchantress also doesn't have much ability. She shouldn't be much of a threat. I wonder if she would. I wonder if she would walk in front. She actually does walk in front. Yeah, job. Sorry, I should have censored that. My bad, guys. Also, this cipher's still not done by now. The whole idea of me not warping was because I thought the cipher would be done by the time I finish warping, but alright, sure, why not? I guess we'll just come for free. That cipher's not even 80%. It's less than 80%. Okay. Our favorite knight is back. Unfortunately, Knight is such a good survivor against Ripper. Not a whole lot we can do. Can we get a double hit here? Ugh! Okay, well, I don't know how he didn't dodge that, but I was trying to basic at the Enchantress. We could have brick wall hit her there, but you don't know if she's going to walk in front of it or not, so just take the hit. You're curious what this would look like on Evil Eye Host? The clearly better skin, by the way, might I add. Okay. If you guys know Miki absolutely hates Evil Eye Host. Jeez, this guy is just dying to a Foggy Blade every single time. Interesting. Palaboost? He doesn't even have Palaboost. I don't know what that was for. Are you going to use your... Oh, he can't use it anymore. Flywheel? I don't understand. Is he running no Sui? I don't even know. Miki's controversial. Miki is controversial. I mean, to be fair, do a lot of people talk about Evil Eye Host? I don't hear anyone talk about Evil Eye Host. Another surrender at 3 cybers. This is why I don't do Hunter streams on the channel. Like, if I did Hunter streams, it would have to be high-tier Hunter streams. Because it's like playing low-tier Survivor. I mean, this is the same reason why I don't stream low-tier Survivor, really. Because it's just a waste of time, usually. I mean, at least we got 11 wins on the last one. I think that's the best low-tier Survivor stream we've ever had. 11 wins, not a single tie, not a single loss. And I'm pretty sure almost every single one of those games, something horrible happened at the start. Like, either a really bad rescue, a really bad kite. There was rarely any game that it was fine. Alright. Come on, guys. I don't know what your problem is. We've known each other for 5 days. Yeah, Barber's a really good skin. Barber was the OG Ripper skin back when Ripper released. He released with the game technically, but I think before he released in China, or before the game even released in China, he wasn't even a thing. When did the game release in China? Like March. So there were, I'm pretty sure Ripper was not a thing in that time. But by the time it released in the global server, Ripper was already well in release, which is, by the way, one of the first hunters they released, and such a banger too. I mean, Ripper is still one of the most iconic hunters in the game. Ripper would not be... By the way, Mercenary's on the little girl, or little girl's on the mercenary. Okay, Ayo, Mercenary is connected with the little girl. This is crazy. I've yet to seen something like this before. I will definitely prefer to take the little girl though, especially if she's gonna give me the free hit. Also, we quickly get our presence up there. Man, so nowadays I can never tell when a little girl is using their page. Also, I think flywheel's up. Yeah, it is up. I can never tell when they're using their page nowadays because of the walking animation. Maybe I should play little girl so we can figure out what the animation looks like better. Horrible idea. Horrible idea, by the way. Definitely not gonna play. Also, this guy already got healed. I mean, I guess his time spent wasted on healing the mercenary. We didn't really have a quick chase, though, to be honest. Okay, I was hoping we would see the mercenary there, but he did just get healed up from somewhere. Probably someone who was decoding a cipher machine. This little girl sounds like she's walking right now. Bro, were you getting rescued this whole time? We do get the double hit there. I guess that counts as a double hit. We don't really care about using only one Foggy Blade, though, on her. We're gonna get it all back by the time we chair her. And she already used her flywheel. Whew! Thank you! Pace doesn't reset recovery, but it does reset the stun, which is real nice. And I'd love to kill this guy, but it's not gonna be very easy or very fast, so I think we're just gonna pick her up first. It's also a mercenary. Even if we kill the mercenary, he just runs away. He's gonna die somewhere where we can't easily chair him next to the little girl. I don't think there's much point killing the mercenary in the moment, especially because he's still here, running into walls as I speak. Alright. Free kill, I guess. We'll take it. And yeah, we're just gonna let him be. Ooh! 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 Oh, don't hit the chair! Whew! That was a little bit scary. Almost hit the chair. And we got basement on top of that. Let's go. So yeah, super dope skin. Super dope accessory. I mean, I like it. We're going to play just for this stream, though, because I feel like I have so many Ripper skins that I'm rather going to play than this skin. I mean, like, come on. No matter how much time passes, Evil Eye Host is always going to be rarer than this skin. Also, could I maybe find the mercenary here just to end this game a little quicker? Thank you. Whew, okay, I see you. I see you. I guess not. Why didn't he use his Foggy Blade, or not his Foggy Blade, his Elbow Pad early? Elbow Pad versus Foggy Blade. Who would win? I guess Elbow Pad would win. Also, Lawyer's just chilling here. Lawyer just doesn't care about what's going on in this game. This Lawyer, I imagine this Lawyer's like an LE streamer right now, where he's just looking at everyone around him, wishing he was the one who kited first, because he would have done such a better kite than everyone else. And he's just left to decode all the ciphers and just complains to his stream. Can we get a free hit here? We do get a free hit. Okay, nice. If this mercenary has any more elbow pads, I'm gonna be upset, but I don't think he does. Not the LE shit. Not the LE stream. This poor mercenary has been on the ground now for, I think, the 3rd time. Is it even worth searching for the Lawyer? I'm just gonna chair the mercenary. I feel like he might rescue the mercenary, though. Let's just put him in basement so that he's not interested in rescuing the mercenary. Hopefully we can end this game a little bit quicker, or they just surrender. Let's go. First down. Alright. Oh, no, don't do Survivor. Almost in trouble there. Honestly, that wouldn't be that much different from a typical Hunter stream where I just randomly go Survivor at least once in the stream. Probably would be more interesting. Yo, Miki, could you check the mod chat in Discord? Since you're the only mod, it looks like. Thank you, Lantern. I wonder if it's actually worth here using the Foggy Blade in a straight line like this. I did see one Ripper do this against me when I was a survivor. Hopefully we don't hit the flower pot there. Really nice. Actually get the full speed boost now. Man, this is extremely fast though, I will say. Extremely fast. She vaulted this? Oh, it's Gardener. At least we hit her bubble. It's so weird. I mean, I assume Ripper is a commonly used hunter, but it's not like anyone is even trying to dodge the Foggy Blades. Usually they'd give you a little bit more trouble than that. Can we maybe mind game with the red light? There's a little trick you can do that I've tried in this exact spot where you can actually make your red light gradually disappear if you stand still. And I don't know if it's a Ripper exclusive thing or is this just a thing for every hunter. But that is something you can do. That is something you can do as Ripper where you can stand still. We should be able to pick up extremely quickly here in the fog if she just runs away, so that's nice. You can actually stand still and you'll gradually remove your red light, but only if you're facing a wall. So if you're facing a wall and it's a wall where the server cannot see you behind, then your red light will gradually just dim until it's completely gone. And that's one of the cool things about Ripper that you can do. It doesn't say anywhere in the game that exists, and something I didn't even know about till I was recording the video about Ripper and his abilities. Something I just randomly encountered was that his red light slowly disappears, and it was by complete accident too, because I would record these videos by myself, obviously, so I kind of have to move one account, then move the other account. And while I'm leaving the Ripper account in place, I'm like playing Survivor. I'm like, where is the red light? I can't see it. How am I supposed to do a red light trick if I can't see the red light? And that's when I realized that if you stand still for long enough, the red light just disappears. It's definitely something really cool. You guys will definitely see in my new video whenever that comes out, because unfortunately right now I'm really busy. Do you think they're dodging foggies? No, I don't think they're dodging my foggies. I don't think so at all. It looks like they're just walking in a straight line, if I'm being honest. Not too bad. We should probably still camp here, especially because Mercenary could technically do a rescue if he dodges every foggy, or Acrobat as well. There's the fly. I was expecting that. Nice. And he doesn't rescue quick enough. Maybe he's got a lag or something like that, but Enchantress not even stunning to protect her Gardener. Is she going for a balloon rescue here? Yeah, she is. Okay, I don't know who she's pulling, but she thinks she's pulling someone. Nice that we're also going to become immediately. I'm not even going to pick up the Acrobat, because if I pick up the Acrobat, she's just going to freely rescue him. I want to kill the Gardener first. Why is she still here? I don't get it. I guess we could just kill her then. Nice. We'll just pick up the Enchantress at this point. Interesting bomb. Don't know what his plan was there. They did get a free rescue here, but they're also not having anyone to code, so it's not the end of the world. Just gonna swap chairs here. If we ever find the enchantress, we can chase her again. If not, we'll just try to damage the mercenary as much as possible. Maybe he's taking a sneaky route? No, he just wasted his time healing her. Without any walls here, he's not going to be able to elbow pad very easily. He can elbow pad after, but it's a little bit late. Unless he wants to use a second elbow pad right here, he's not going to be able to get this rescue without taking a hit. He does use a second elbow pad, but is it even enough? I don't think it is. We could throw a Foggy to get him off, and it is enough to get him off. And he doesn't even get the Palston off. I mean, he did, but he died. Doesn't even matter. After half, they just surrendered. Okay. It's nice that now survivors can surrender, even if everyone's not knocked down, because it just speeds up these matches so much faster. Don't even have to worry about it. Yeah, you love Ripper's walk. He just seems so chill. What do we have? 5 wins already? In like 30 minutes, I think. 5 wins. Pretty good. That was a quick match. Usually if I go Hunter, I'm going to go quick match. Because if you keep your Hunter rank low, you can get matches much faster in quick match. Since it does use your tier to figure out what kind of survivors you match with in quick match. Which is a bad thing if you want to face good survivors, because then we're just going to face not good survivors over and over again. But it is good if you just want to practice a certain Hunter and get better at using their ability. So if you can help it, try not to do Hunter rank. Or whatever faction, I should say whatever faction you don't mainly play. It helps to not rank up that faction too much, because that way you can get matches much quicker and practice something or try out something or have fun, I guess. Let's say you want to play with your friends. You know, you can help them get quicker matches if you're low with tier, if you think about it. Or do lower tier survivors even get matches quicker? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Okay, so it's really only a thing for Hunter. Because when you're a low tier survivor, you really don't get matches quicker. I don't really know what's going on then. Do high tier survivors get matches quicker? Because I never try in quick match. We could also go Insolence on Moonlit. It's nice. We're probably not going to be breaking pallets that often. Especially now that he has chip hits. You could hit a combination of 1 chip plus 1 basic. And that could be enough to already get your invisibility. Where in the past you'd have to hit 2 Foggy Blades. Which is definitely more difficult because it sounds like, that sounds like slightly more only than just a Foggy Blade plus a chip hit. But in reality, it could cost you a lot more. Because the thing about a chip plus fog is that the chip affords you to miss one of your chips and still hit the other. Whereas the old Ripper, where you can only use the big Foggy Blades, not only was the cooldown a little bit longer, but also if you missed one of them, then you had to wait 20 seconds instead of the current 9 seconds for a single chip. Which is a huge difference, obviously. So Insolence combines a lot better with chip hunters for that reason. They usually have a lot more of their abilities, so if they miss, it's not as detrimental, making Insolence a little bit better on them. And also, if you guys notice, as the game progresses, by the time we even find our first survivor, we really already have, if you think about it, 1 chip hit worth of damage already. So really, if the kite goes for even a little bit longer, sometimes even just 1 Foggy Blade is already enough to injure them. Could we get a hit here? Nice. I was wondering if he maybe knows how to counter that. Okay. Seeking an odd route. And we're not quite at 1,000 presence, but if I hit this Foggy Blade, we will be. Unfortunately, that Foggy, I don't think gave us any fog on the ground, so we won't be able to benefit off of it. Not like it matters that much anyway. Okay, now that I walked into that wall, it is going to matter quite a bit, actually. Because now we're not going to beat him to this vault. I mean, we could... Man, that makes such a huge difference now because he gets a pallet vault out of that. All because I walked into that box right there. Is he going to get a second loop out of a powder window right here? I don't think so. Good example of how Prisoner Shock has like a Black Wu-Chang effect where you could walk into it after he already used it. We could... Gravekeeper, though. Gravekeeper's not really going to make Basin worth it if we want to protect the Cypher because he's just going to slip by at some point. What's with survivors like playing hero, where like you chair next to them and just immediately go for the rescue? I mean, I guess it makes it easier for us. So this is a little bit more than 80. If no one is gonna rescue, we could just chair her. We could try chairing. I wasn't paying attention to the ciphers. I'm just gonna chair in basement. I probably should have been checking to see if people are actually rescuing or decoding there. Yeah, you see that cipher shaking over there? Why is he already using his shovel? He's gonna need to come out to rescue this guy. Unless he's gonna dig down and let the prisoner die? Really weird. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to hit this guy and go after the prisoner here. Or, you know what? Or if I stay here, we could actually have 2 people in basement and just let the prisoner go. I think this is gonna be better, because the Gravekeeper really only has 1 tide turner. So his tide turner is gonna run out right now. And we're gonna actually have 2 people in basement. I'm gonna start the Gravekeeper's timer first, I think. Just because I do want him to go after half. Lunar can go over here. She's probably going to end up dying, regardless of whether we put her second or first. But with the Gravekeeper, he might just not end up getting rescued at all if we put him first. As opposed to if we put him second, maybe they'll have time to rescue him now. Because Little Girl's pretty much a goner at this point. Pretty bad rebound potential, not a whole lot she can do off of chair. Gravekeeper could definitely use a shovel after chair. He still has 2 of them. So we could get him after half. The less chairs he has to work with to use as many shovels as possible, the better for us. And that's assuming they even get the rescue off. Maybe Prisoner's going for a crazy rescue, but probably not. And do you have a flywheel? I don't see a flywheel. You just pop bridge, Cypher. Forgot I already had slow pallet break in this game, so probably not worth breaking that pallet, but it's alright. Not a super big deal. Dungeon is actually over here. What the heck? Well, and don't have to worry about flywheel anymore. That's nice for me. And he is actually decoding the cipher. Okay, we're not actually gonna... I don't want to... Okay, it actually wouldn't really have mattered. But you do have to remember that if you're not past this river, your warp is actually going to be a little bit shorter. So that is something to keep in mind. I wonder if we can snipe this guy. Come on, walk into it. No, he changed his direction. He's coming back. He's coming back, or does he just not know where we are? He saw this fog and is like, oh no, Ripper's here. Nah, but doesn't look like he's giving up. Do you have flywheel? You could have flywheel. Honestly, nowadays with survivors, even in high tier, you never know if they have flywheel or not. They probably do, and they just might not even get to use it. So 6 wins now. Why is Ripper's Foggy Zone this big? It's probably the accessory. The Foggy Zone was always that big, but it was never really clear how big it was. Now it's more clear, so that if you see the Foggy Zone, you know exactly where it is. If you don't have an accessory, it's also a lot harder to see. We could take off the accessory for this game, so it's a little bit easier to see that. It's really the same thing. It's just it was always harder to tell. And it still is if you don't have an accessory. Do you think they're dodging Foggy's Trick or Tier? Yeah, definitely not. They're definitely not dodging it. We could see what it's like without the accessory. But I'm pretty sure it's the same. That nothing changed. I'm pretty sure the Foggy Zone was always that big. There are two things that you could notice from those matches. The first is that, yes, the accessory makes the fog just more obvious. But the other is that now the game has a buff shown in the top left corner. It used to not show a buff when you're inside the fog, but it always existed. That you just gain faster movement speed when you're inside of fog on the ground. That never showed up as a buff, but it was always just in the game. It just didn't show it. And usually the game is pretty good about showing buffs and debuffs to you as a survivor. Or as a hunter, I guess, as the same thing. But that was one of the few things not in the game that they just added recently. I think it came with Ripper's rework, I'm pretty sure. That they now show if he actually is moving faster in the fog or not. Of course, you as a survivor won't be able to tell because you don't see his buffs, but as a hunter now you can more easily tell. So if I throw this fog over here, it's definitely not going to show up to be this big. But realistically, I mean, maybe. Maybe it was not this big before. Okay, I guess I'm just going to come from the window side. He also has a different window vault animation, so that's a little bit different. Oh, okay. It's still going to be a hit, though. And a basic. She didn't need to do the basic, but that was a good first Foggy Blade dodge. And look at that. Insolent's coming in clutch. Look at that. We got it in our fog, so we're just going to immediately catch up. This is basically GG at this point already. I mean, even if it wasn't for that, it would have been GG, but that just makes it a little bit funnier. Insolence with Ripper can be very good. It's situational for sure, but it can be very good if you're worried about survivors who will outrun you and just prevent you from getting hits on them in the first place. So when you do finally get that first hit, maybe in between their cooldowns, right? So let's say it's like a patient, you had to outrun the patient hook and just then you could hit him while he was on cooldown. It might have taken one hook, it might have taken two hooks before you finally caught up. But that way, when you do finally get that first hit on him, Insolence should be right around the corner. And I'd love to hit the first officer here. Dude, I just got hit by a lucky guy. Never mind. I thought that was a first officer this whole time. I thought I got shot by a first officer for a second. Oh, did the lucky guy just body block? Okay, get out the way, bro. I will kill you, and I will put you in basement. Should we just put this guy in basement? No, she's right there. Why would we? They don't have a rescuer, though, so I'd love to put him in basement. Basement is just extremely good right now. Okay, don't ask me how that counted. But, like, you can see, the fog is a lot harder to tell, like, where it is. Like, right here. Oh, okay, on top of that, we get our own fog from putting her on chairs, so it's a little bit even more difficult to, like, know where the fog exactly is. It just ends up feeling like there's fog everywhere instead, but yeah, you can see. I mean, it's pretty big. I think they did make it bigger when survivors go down. I don't know if it's bigger from Foggy Blades. I don't think it is. We got 2 people rescuing, I think. That's funny. Did she just vault into our direction? No, she's just going in the corner. We're not going to be able to chair that lucky guy, but it's just nice that for the next 30 seconds, no one can really rescue him. Honestly, I should have just stood still to remove the laceration. This guy has nothing to latch onto right now. Can we double hit? Double hit? Nice. Good stuff. I mean, this time we'll drop. We don't have a Foggy Blade. And kill him. Okay, no, he is just going to use his mag guy. I was expecting a flywheel there. A little bit unlucky. Honestly, I probably should have went for him right there. We had the Foggy Blaze to kill him. He was just out in the open. He is the half-health person, though, which is going to help us tremendously snowball this game if we just chase the half-health person. 31%. Nothing crazy. Just going to vault normally, because he doesn't seem that bad at the game. It feels like he should be able to know to dodge foggies after vaulting something. So, better to vault right there. We ended up just guaranteeing that we kill him right there. Whether or not he dodges, we just guarantee that we kill him right there. We could also use Foggies through this wall right here. And potentially hit a survivor if we just want to hit him around the corner. So that chair's not so bad for that either. Who's opening a chest? You can tell this chest is open because this is one of the only chests in the game where you could see it go through the wall. A little bit of a nice tip there. Usually it's already open and no one's next to it anymore, but every once in a while you could, like, in 2v8 especially, figure out someone is next to it. Okay, unfortunately that counted as a hit from my hand right there. So he does end up getting the speed boost from getting hit. Even though it's still a chip hit, it counts as a basic hit because I used my hand right there. But if you just hit him with the fog blade, you don't get a speed boost at all, which is huge now, by the way. That's a huge part of Ripper, by the way, that when you use your foggy blade, now you can use a small one and it won't give the survivor a speed boost. In the past, with Ripper, if you used Ripper and you always had to use the big foggy blade, then the survivor would always get a boost and you very likely couldn't even immediately hit them after you just hit them with the foggy blade because of that boost. It would often give them the chance to, you know, get to a pallet, get to a window before you even got a chance to double hit them. It's one of the huge drawbacks of Ripper is that he's just got an insanely long attack recovery even when he misses. Most hunters like Cleric, Opera, Nightwatch, it's not that long. But Ripper has one of the longest ones in the game. When he swings and when he misses, you can feel it every time. Okay, we were still in the pallet right there, to be honest. Also, it shows a red doll right here. I was like wondering, oh, interesting. Also, how did I injure her? When did I even injure her this game? I don't even remember that. And she's dead. Siki, what's your hunter rank? Crocodile. You hit her with the foggy? Which foggy? Oh, you mean when I just blindly swung? That's why she suddenly stopped being invisible? I was like wondering, I could have sworn she still had more invisibility timer. I landed the foggy blade perfectly? I didn't even see. That's crazy. I was like, since when did she rescue? I don't remember that. Invisible versus invisible. I guess we won. Hunter rank? Dope, yes. Hunter rank, low tier hunter rank, but hunter rank nonetheless. Because I got a lot of people asking me to play the skin, so we're going to do it. Really? D tier? No, I'm kind of kidding when I say Ripper's D tier. But he's definitely not a competitive hunter. The problem with Ripper is that, you know, when you have a lot of boosts in a row, that's one way to counter a Ripper. So, like, let's say you got broken windows, that's a great way to counter Ripper. It's honestly better than Flywheel, just because of the fact that Flywheel really only counters 9 seconds worth of Foggy Blade, and if he uses the big one, then that's still 18. As opposed to broken windows, a series of broken windows boosts, especially if they have a postman on the team, so you could even get up to 3 boosts, is going to significantly delay him. And those boosts come back way quicker than Flywheel does too. So it's, in the long run, going to give you a lot more time, a lot more heartache as Ripper. You need to get close. He's like an easier, lower cooldown version of Blood Queen. Once he gets close, there's really no way to dodge the Foggy Blade. You just need an ability to counter it at that point. But the hard part is actually even catching up in the first place. You want to hunter rank more and want some new hunters to pick up. Waxarus is amazing then. A lot of people don't know how to counter Waxarus. He's also very easy to play and is an extremely good hunter, even against survivors who know what they're doing. He can block off Cypher Machines for 15 seconds each time. He can block off key windows that a survivor may use. Very often windows are combined with tall walls, which will give Waxarus a hard time. So if you can block off the windows, that's usually already a good start as Waxarus, as opposed to someone like Ripper. Tall walls or window loops with tall walls that make it hard to see the survivor could give you a hard time because you can't easily deal with that window. All your Foggy Blades do is give you slight movement speed when you don't have presence. And even with presence, they don't do a whole lot. You just walk into them and after that, they don't do that much. I thought she maybe would go for the pallet, but she ended up dropping it, so it didn't even matter. Can actually use one of our Foggy Blades here to immediately get our invisibility. I keep forgetting to change the builds here, but it actually is working out for us to carry Insolence here. It's not the end of the world. So her footsteps either stopped happening or she just went backwards, which is a very weird play. Usually you're not supposed to do that as Survivor. Usually that's not what you do in this area. You usually want to go to the... I would say the better pal, but it really doesn't matter because we probably would catch up in either way. I guess you'd rather use the good pallet and ask for the owl because then you can follow it up with this really good window right here. Either way, it's going to be hard because when you get hit by the Foggy Blade, you leave behind that fog trail. You go to the window, Ripper's still going to be invisible right behind you. But at least you'll have like this pallet still to drop, and without a Foggy Blade in his inventory, there's not going to be a whole lot he can do. Besides wait it out. Looks like they're not rescuing. This is the problem of letting people go past half. Is that the survivors could decode, yes, and on paper you guys gain decode, but really you don't, because now we're just starting to chase someone else. Ah, that was unfortunate. We probably should have hit him right there. Okay, one person stopped decoding, yeah. The warp is going to be really nice. Here, honestly, teleport would have done the same thing, because the cipher is right there. Where did the other person go, though? Where's the perfumer? I don't know where the perfumer went. I really don't want to have to chase this Gravekeeper right here. Is she hiding back here? Oh yeah, she is. That actually almost worked, I'm not gonna lie. That almost worked. So yeah, at this point, this is gonna be it for the perfumer. It was after half, I think, right? Yeah, Seer already being a chip hit is going to help us a lot here. Only going to take one Foggy plus another Foggy for the Owl. Or we could just wait it out, really depends. I'm going to try to prioritize chip hits here, so that we never really give his Owl a lot of value. At most is going to remove maybe a chip hit, but that's about it. They are doing the Ruin Cipher. Gotta be careful with the owl. Now we can use our big Foggy Blade, though we still don't know if he has a flywheel or not. And this is kind of the issue with Ripper, is that you could go for the big Foggy and just end this kite right now. But we don't have much info on his build. Vaults are going to make it guaranteed, because obviously you can't flywheel while you're vaulting. But without us seeing a single vault this whole game, we don't know if he has broken windows, or does he have flywheel, or maybe he's crazy to run tide. I don't know. But without any info, we have to play a little bit safer. We could play riskier, but if we play riskier, I don't think there's any need to play risky right now in our position. We should be fine here. We have a pretty good lead. Should we go after? I think we go after this guy. Why is he dropping his magnet? Could just pick it up and not even worry about it. Even if we base kit him at that point, we're going to be fine. Very weird strategy from him right here. Never seen this before. Probably should just be swinging right away, but he already used flywheel. Like, I don't know what I'm waiting for, honestly. I'm just going to pick up just to be safe here. It's not like Seer's going to rescue anyway. Is he going to rescue? It would be pretty crazy if he went to rescue. I wonder if he would vault into us here. He did flywheel, though. It got a flywheel out of him. That was a little bit funny. He is trying to watch out for the Fog Blade, thinking that we're going to hit through the wall. I'm not going to go for it. We're actually going to chair right here. This chair is a little bit better in case they get rescued from. Better for us, worse for the survivor. Oh, he's dead anyway, though. Alright, I guess it doesn't matter. He's almost for sure going to go for the rescue here. He is going for the rescue. He's right here. I think I will just use a warp. Just to guarantee it. Have to be careful of the push here. Besides that, we should be fine. If he's not right next to the chair when he pushes out, or if we're next to a tree, we should be fine. Fortunately, not really trees. Is he just going to let him die? He is. So honestly, we could just wait out the shovel at this point. Shovel only lasts 35 seconds, and that's assuming it's a brand new shovel. We're going to try to get a basic hit on him, obviously. On this kind of pallet, we should be able to. And I think he has given up. I think he's given up. Maybe I can play Wax Artist when Ripper is banned? Yeah, we could. It would be a lot easier for sure. Because the thing with Ripper is that you can hit a Survivor, but at the end of the day, Survivors are always going to get that boost, and you always got to wait for your next Foggy Blade. Wax Artist, if a Survivor messes up, it's so detrimental for them, because they don't lose their Wax. You don't have a cooldown on your Wax. You have way more Wax than you need, honestly. It would make things a lot easier. We could deal with any Cypher Machine from a distance without having to, like, leave our chair, risk giving a free rescue. I just discovered your channel. Love watching Hunter mains. Third Geisha NAU here. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. I really appreciate it. I wonder if I've gone against you recently. I'm not a Hunter main, though. You love watching Hunter mains? Yeah, this is not a Hunter main channel, but I really appreciate it. I have way too many Survivor guides. I have multiple Survivor guides, a couple Hunter guides, I guess. Like that one on Ripper Foggy Blades, and I guess Hellumber Clown in Gamekeeper that I just recently posted, but most of it is for Survivor. But thank you for coming in anyway, appreciate it. Where even is the character points nowadays? I still remember when the character points was like over here, right below the character name. I still remember that. I still keep thinking it's there too. Why couldn't they just ban Ripper? Maybe. It would be nice. I don't usually sit down and play one Hunter in one rank session. It's kind of in the name of the stream, though. Yeah, what did they ban last time? They banned Percy, I think, last time. First game was Gamekeeper. He plays mainly Survivor. He played Koa. Yeah, I played almost every single Koa as Survivor, actually. Was supposed to go to Koa 3 in China, but then COVID happened. Technically, it wasn't really fair because there wasn't really a tournament to decide. The devs just said whoever gets first place on the Koa leaderboard gets to go to China. There won't even be a tournament. Those are like really bad times for NAU, because then it's like, holy crap, is NAU even going to get tournaments for Koa anymore? But yeah, it looks like that was just a one-time thing, and they never did that again, thankfully. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I mean, good for me, though, because I ended up getting first in that tournament with my team. I was on LBM at the time. Yo, we got the first Survivor who actually knows what they're doing. Insane. That's crazy. Still a pretty good start for us, though. I mean, Ripper's just very difficult to deal with on a first kite. It's like, whenever he gets close to you, if you don't have exactly broken windows, he messed up his ice bomb right there, unfortunately for him. Is he gonna pay for that? Kind of. Not really. Flywheel could have been better. But even with the flywheel, if we swing and miss, honestly, Ripper's swing is so bad, I think he might have been able to, like, reach that window if he flywheeled a little bit better. He's got such a long missed recovery. It's like, when you hit a flywheel against something like Percy or Ripper, they really feel it. It really slows them down. Okay, I don't need to worry about that guy. He just ran away from his Cypher Machine. I will still take the presence here. Use one Foggy Blade so that way we don't waste the other one. We can just start basic hitting without using our Foggy Blades. Yeah, I guess we may as well kill this pig. It'll make it easier to double hit him. If I want to. Do I want to, though? Nah. I'll just do the single damage on him. It would be cool to use the Foggy Blade to become invisible here, but in this kind of pallet area. Or he could just walk into the pallet. But in this kind of pallet area, it's very easy to remove your invisibility, so it's usually not worth it. Is he going to spam a bomb here? Okay, I was thinking he would use a bomb to go over the pallet. Seriously? There's no way that's gonna work! Oh my god, this is how we lose the first game. Because of stupid crap like that. Yeah, this is why we have the faster pallet breaking, because of this exact area on church. Man, he got so lucky there. Honestly, I shouldn't have even gone for that, because he could just roll out the way, is the issue. Oh, there's a seer on the team, right as I swung. I didn't even notice there was a seer on the team. Unfortunate. It's going to make this Kai way longer now. Because of that mistake. At least the firebomb was pretty bad. That really sucked. We might end up tying this game now. That's the kind of the problem with hunters like Ripper or Percy. One thing goes wrong on the chase, and it just kind of leads to a bunch of things you can't control at that point. Seer Owl, I mean, it was a good Seer Owl. I guess we shouldn't have swung right away, though. I wasn't even paying attention to the team comp, unfortunately. At least a wasted flywheel. Man, this guy even has the Seer skin. Look at that. And yeah, unfortunately, we even got the chip hit on them. Would have been nice if we did not do that, obviously. I'd love to wait for a Foggy Blade here, if possible, just to guarantee this. I hope they don't have the Cypher Prime. They do have the Cypher Primed. Should be able to beat him out here. Actually, I don't think we do. Ugh. That was a really good flywheel. Man, we're probably going to lose this game now because of that one mistake. Whew. Yeah, unfortunately, the Wildling's on their team. Whew. I really messed up. Man, but we're not going to be able to easily kill him. And that is so sad. We're gonna end up losing to one survivor mistake that actually ends up costing us. Their mistake ends up actually killing us this game. Damn. Can't even hit him right there. Honestly, still can't hit him. Oh wait, did he just run past us? It doesn't even matter anyway. Man, unfortunate. Unfortunate. I should be paying attention to their team comp here. That and combined with that really bad situation that happened right there with the what's it called? With the owl, with the bomb right there. Man, that was my bad. Yeah, one mistake there put us GG. Fortunately, we do end up losing a game. I mean, that was my bad. That was my bad, but really sucks. It's so sad. I guess I should have just broken that pallet immediately. I guess I forgot how annoying that pallet is still as Ripper. That first pallet that he pallet stunned with me, I should have hit him right there. I just wasn't keeping my hand on the screen right there. It was literally as simple as just tapping the button as soon as you see him. We have plenty of time to see him. Should have pallet stunned him there immediately. That should have been very easy. But instead, one mistake led to another mistake, which led to the owl actually being a good owl, unfortunately. Legendary matches Croc. It's based off survivors, not Hunter. Is this because of the survivor files? It's not because of the survivor files, no. Those were all good survivors that they picked. Survivor files would be stuff like not known survivors that are actually OP, but people say are garbage. A little bit unfortunate. Theoretically, I could match with Psychiran if I was ranking, but I never solo rank Griffin. Could I even match with you? Because I'm Croc, which is what survivor tier? That's Elk. I basically lost the equivalent of Elks. Shoot, man. Yo, the PP spawn, my favorite! I love the PP spawn! No, we're not gonna go for it. So I should probably pay attention to where they spawn. Matador's down there. Of course, it's your favorite. It would be better if we were something like Opera Singer. But if we're going to go something like Ripper, we're just going to block off Factory. That way there's going to be difficulty with the barmaid. Like, where does she do now? Does she go to Deep Sandbags? We could get lucky with the ciphers. We could see what happens. If there's 2 Deep Sandbag ciphers, then it doesn't really matter. But, you know, if the novice runs and takes the outer Sandbag cipher, and barmaid goes to Sandbags, even if there are 2 ciphers there, it's going to waste their time because novice ran in the wrong direction. It really depends on a lot here for the survivors to still fix this cipher layout regardless of what we get. But let's see. There's only 1 Sandbags, which means the barmaid has to go to middle. And I guess she could do middle. Forward's only going to do 1 of those ciphers. Either way, it does waste a lot of time, is the idea. And this guy's stealing my route. This is my survivor route. Let's see. I think we still have faster pallet breaking. Unfortunately, the thing about Novelist is that Novelist is always going to be able to stun us before we can use our Foggy Blade. Assuming that he uses the book close enough to us, that is. And but you can see, like, these tall walls are a nuisance for Ripper. Any tall walls or things like that. Oops, my bad. Maybe we should be running stuff like Peepers on Ripper for maps like Arms Factory, because this is extremely difficult. Okay, nice, we cancel his book. Can you drop this pallet, please? Man, why is Ripper like one of the few hunters whose hitbox still hasn't been optimized for pallets? Like, that's ridiculous. Why do I always hit the edge of the pallet every single time? Can we hit him? No, we don't, because the speed boost. Wow, Peepers actually would have killed him right there, because it would have slowed down his movement speed, and it would have slowed down... No, jeez. And it would have slowed down his ball. Great. I'm also using Ripper because Ripper with Warp, because Warp is one of my least played traits. And like playing Peeper, it's like Peeper is good on Ripper, but it would solve this whole issue if I just took Peepers right here. That was a really good kite. Yeah, like these loopable areas where you have to take risk with tall walls and you can't see the survivors. It's the same issue with Axe Boy. I mean, I would definitely take Peepers here as Axe Boy. Like, no difference here. It's the same thing. It's the same reasoning. Also, why am I seeing a red dot but I don't see the survivor on... Man, I hate people... I hate these low tiers running sneak. Like, these guys... No, he's not running sneak. He actually just hid well. Man, unfortunately, he absorbed the Foggy Blade there. I really needed that Foggy Blade to hit the other guy right there. I wouldn't mind if we could kill the forward as well. Put him in basement. Man, this is almost GG, honestly. Like, what are we supposed to do? I don't think there's anything we can do at this point to kill this novelist. It's just going to take too long. Holy. I think we lost this game. Man, Ripper's got such weak comeback potential too. Like, one thing goes wrong and there's very little you can do. Why are they double decoding though? I'll definitely grab that. And then there's always the RNG of whether you hit your Foggy Blade or not. Do you just guess they're going in the right direction or not? Yeah, that's... Oh. Thank God he dropped the pallet at least. But yeah, we're not running trump card either. Should have definitely ran Peepers in that case. And Peepers would have saved us there because it would have completely canceled out the whole looping of that area. Would have completely fixed that entire issue in general. Okay, we definitely gotta kill this guy. I swear, if he escapes again, that would be so frustrating if he escapes again. Because we don't have anything to slow down his vault speed. Let's see, we're still in a really bad spot here. Okay, at least we guessed that first one right. I hope Ford is not rescuing here. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to stop this rescue. The problem is, even if we hit her, I don't know why she didn't rescue there immediately. But the problem is, even if we hit her right here, she could just spam rescue. And I don't know why they don't spam rescue. Also, he is being extremely annoying. Never had to use that option before. Until now. Man, are we even going to be able to cheer her anymore? I don't even know. We are. But I don't think we're going to camp. We're just going to let him get a free rescue. We still hit him. No, not even close. Even if I actually knew how to aim. Flywheel? Anything? Okay, we can chair him because we have no tinnitus. I was about to say, we have to check the cipher. Just gonna give it to us, though. And unfortunately, Barmaid's basically like Doctor in this situation. Also, what are they doing together? What is this hiding? What is this hiding logic here? I'd be pretty happy with after half 2 and just a farm. But we need her to leave the tree here. Okay, she's not going for it. Makes me feel like Ford is going for the rescue, but it's alright. I guess we'll just still chair the barmaid. Just in case. Barmaid's also bet on chair. We have a chair right here, and we can easily go check on the other guy. As long as this guy dies, that's our main priority. Once you kill 2 people, then that's the easiest at that point. But no tinnitus here, so we can just go check on the other chair then. You just need to kill 2 people, you should have the win. But jeez, man, these games. Okay. At least, honestly, the only reason we didn't lose this game was because the barmaid and Matador were decoding on the same cipher for some reason. They were decoding on the same cipher, so when we interrupted the cipher, we were interrupting the entire team. Because Novice is not decoding, Forward is not decoding, and neither is Barmaid or Matador anymore. So we got extremely lucky there that they were making the wrong choice right there, double decoding. Don't know why. But yeah, also that Novelist guy went on for way too long. It's definitely a big problem with Ripper. That like loopable areas tend to be a pretty big problem. He already used his flywheel, so that's out of the question. The 1 loss is character building moment. Honestly, we should be at 2 losses now. Very lucky that they just were double decoding for no reason on that one cipher. What the hell? I love you, Psyche. Can't we please rank, bro? I don't know why you're saying no. I'm doing Hunter rank. Okay, apparently everyone's crazy for me today. Did I go quick match? No, we're going rank match. You can still see the profiles if you're low enough tier. You always use peepers on Ripper? It depends. You definitely don't need it on a map like Moonlit. In fact, I think it's worse, if anything. Especially because you can see the survivors, you definitely don't need peepers, unless you go to God Corner. Did I take a love potion or something? What's going on? Well, Nelk is always like that, to be fair. Nelk's always trolling. It must be the new shirt. It must be the new shirt for sure. Alright. Finally! I'm out of Ripper Purgatory. I wouldn't recommend Ripper as like a go-to hunter. I'm not as good at him as like obviously the one tricks. But it's fine. He at the end of the day is not going to be as good as something like Waxhurst. A lot easier to play. Better cipher control. Is this the same novelist from last game? It is the same novelist. The problem with Ripper is, like, there's not a whole lot of opportunity for risks. If you go for risks, it's very easy to dodge the Foggy Blade, usually, is the one issue. That's why it's so hard to go for comeback potential, because even if you wanted to, there's not a whole lot you can do until you're close to the Survivor. And if you're close to the Survivor, they could just hit your basic A. And it's not a whole lot. Not a whole lot you can do about it. Like, you don't know where they're going to go. It's a guessing game. You can know your hitbox really well and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you don't know where the Survivor's going to run suddenly. Okay. Sorry, my mind is somewhere else right now, but we're not going to chase the mercenary first. Definitely not. Although we probably could have gotten a hit on him right there. Still going to gain a lot of wax here on this Lanternist. Fortunately, Flywheel is up, though. Okay, she doesn't use it very good, though. That is the one benefit of running fast pallet breaking on Waxers, is that something like that wouldn't have really been a thing anymore if you properly avoided that. With the faster pallet breaking, that is. Slow pallet breaking, not a whole lot you can do about it. They're just going to be able to get away, and that's the kind of situation. Honestly, a lot of my hunter builds are outdated. They don't really play around for warp nowadays. A lot of my builds. I don't even know what you run nowadays, but warp is not really a trait I see hunters only run, especially on a big map. You still see trump card on maps like Lakeside or Moonlit, where people run warp. They could still also use that trump card. She canceled it? Did she cancel it? Because that's supposed to delay the stun. But, alright. Whatever. Play Geisha. Also, in case it's not obvious, anyone who's just joining the stream, Psyche, why are you not playing Ripper? Because Ripper got banned, believe it or not. So yeah, we're not going to be playing Ripper. At least not this match, but we're going to be playing Lexress, which I like a lot better than Ripper. I don't know, man. He was in the corner the whole time, okay. Also, that cipher at middle is still almost done. They just never finished it. We're realistically at 2 ciphers here. Maybe 1, depending on how much this cipher is. Man, they're actually rotating me. Okay, kind of. He sat in the pallet. We were going to find him right there if he didn't drop that. Definitely gonna try to block that off if we can. That's a little bit unlucky. At least we did find the half-health person. That's gonna help us a lot right here. And we finally have our hot wax here. Finally. So the rescues are gonna be a lot better for us now. And I think this is the first time the mercenary's rescuing, by the way. love a double hit here. I'm going to stay on hot wax here in case he tries to... Well, it actually doesn't really matter because of the tide turner. But maybe we can get it off anyway. Honestly, I wonder if regular wax would actually be better right there. Just because if he body blocks, then whoever takes all the wax would just stop moving and we can more easily hit the other person. I feel like they have extra ciphers. Like, they have that cipher, and they're working on Shaq now. But how are they working on Shaq? Like, who's going to do this rescue? For now, no one. Maybe they're relying on the mercenary to pick himself up. But that's not going to really be possible because the mercenary went down the same time the lore went down because of Tide Turner. Tide Turner is actually going to prevent mercenary from picking himself up in time here. That's an example of Tide Turner actually helping us there. Because that way, it gives us time to knock down the lawyer so that... Ooh, he does have his book right there. Ooh, why am I not clicking the button? Okay, that was a really bad book from him. It wouldn't have done anything right there. Guess it prevents the basic hit. Not really. We still get it. Also get the 50 wax. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the last 100, though. Okay, maybe we will. If he stood by those walls, I don't think we would have. We would have had to block off the window and pala with the wax. Or broken the pala. Either one. Why don't you use Insolence Wax Artist? I mean, I don't know. Not every Insolence user runs Wax Artist. Or, not every Wax Artist runs Insolence. You can run Wax Artist without Insolence. You don't necessarily need it. I don't really have a reason for you, though. I mean, I don't play Hunter enough to really tell you why I'm not running Insolence this game and why I am running other things like what am I running this game? I'm running Trump Card? Over fast pallet breaking and Insolence and detention? Like, detention as wax charges? Not as needed, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just using old builds on my Persona build. I can't be bothered to make every single Hunter have their own individual build. Yeah, the Novelist wasn't bad at all. The Novelist played pretty good. Oh yeah, Lunar New Year accessory, right? You're right. Alright, never mind. I guess we're not gonna go back to it. Yeah, you can forget about that. Listen, Joseph is meta. When are they gonna buff Listen? Do something with Listen. Back to Ripper, I know, right? Play Violinist. Even Violinist would be more interesting than Ripper. That's kind of why I didn't do the Ripper stream at first, because, like, come on, everyone's played Ripper. At this point, I'd rather do the Lunar New Year Doctor skin that I still haven't done from last year than the Ripper one. You keep winning with Listen Joseph? So I don't know if we'll have time for Listen Joseph today, because I gotta go right after stream, but I'm glad you're having success with it. Don't know why, but I'm glad you are. Also, what's up with these footprints just randomly loading in at a close distance? How come they don't show up when I'm like next to them? It takes a while for them to actually do anything. What? What did I hit? Dude, I'm actually getting BS by the game these matches. I guess this is the first like real BS match. Like, come on. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I clicked the button, but I guess not. You can forget about it. Also, would be nice to have Hunt, just to catch up. Also, I'm playing bad. Man, what a tragic miss right there. What is she doing, dog? What am I doing, dog? Like, it's actually fooling me. It's fooling me. Like, her running in place is actually fooling me, going for stupid Foggy Blades that I normally wouldn't go for. Survivors are just too dumb, man. They're too dumb. They're too dumb. You were the mercenary in that last match? GG's, man. I'm sorry that novelist keep... Hold up, what was even the novelist's name? I think it was Orphe? I'm sorry that novelist kept stealing your rescues, man. I think he took your first one, then the second one he just kept rescuing over and over. Hello? Man, these guys play like it's Dead by Daylight over here. He thinks I'm gonna kick his Cypher. He really wants to pop it first. Wow, that really sucks. I didn't think the magnet would trigger. Still gonna be after half though. Is it? Yes, it is. This guy missed his magnet after I missed my Foggy. I can just break this since we're already inside the fog. And she's standing in the corner. She also picked up the Prospector's magnet. How nice of... Oh no, the magnet's right there. Or did she? I don't even know if she did. Is like batter around the corner here somewhere? Got me scared. On the bright side, we do have 3 Cyphers right next to each other right here. The problem is that they're not that easy to protect. These are all pretty annoying Cyphers. It's a player on Flywheel here, unfortunately. Yo, it's the Gardener skin that I always wear. Welcome, my favorite Gardener skin. She's not wearing my favorite accessory, but that's still so dope. Okay, she'll have an instant bubble for next time. Or right now. I guess she has it right now. Sure, I guess. I mistimed it by like a millisecond. Flywheeled away, okay. Also, stop that. That's not allowed. It's so hard to catch up now because we just have to walk after him with our singular Foggy Blade. Alright, at least we did kill him right there. Like, I guess we could use a Foggy Blade after he gets rid of our invisibility to get our invisibility back, but maybe I should be doing that. Every little thing you do as Ripper really does matter. Nobody expects listen. It's also completely worthless. So where's the gardener? Did gardener slip past me here? Why am I getting tinnitus? I'm actually a little bit scared. Is it possible that maybe she went behind Shaq? No, they do have a lot of ciphers with progress, so I do want to play it safe here. I'm not interested in getting 4-man. Okay. She was probably waiting next to Dungeon. I don't know. Is Dungeon even here? Or is Dungeon at Shaq? I guess we're never going to find out now. Does Coordinator need a buff? I think according to stats, the devs would tell you no. But I do want Coordinator to get a buff, because compared to all the other rescuers, Coordinator is one of the weakest. Her role is not even a rescuer anymore. Her role is more of like a throwaway kiter who has guaranteed kite time with the gun, and that's about it. She's not really built for dealing with something like Goman or Shadow. It's more so like she could just get guaranteed time in, but none of her abilities really counter anything specifically. It's just like free, brainless kite time to just stall out the kite and make it easier for your team to get a tie. But it's really hard to actually get a winning kite with Coordinator, because Coordinator has limited items, which means there's going to be a lot of times with hunters that you have to dodge their abilities without being able to use your gun. Skashenka, what's up, man? I haven't seen you forever. First thing you say is 6'7". But yeah, that's a big issue of Coordinator, is that it's very hard to survive and deal with the hunter's abilities without just having to use your gun. Even then, many of them won't take that long to catch up. It's a good way to get just guaranteed time for a tie, but it's really hard to actually get a winning kite in. There's some really good Master Coordinator, like Hospital, where no matter where on the map you are, you really could just use your gun and go straight to Hospital. Very few places that you just can't do that. Most places you can do that, and most hunters you can do that. Depends on the hunter, of course, how close you need to be to Hospital. But generally, with every hunter, you can just go straight to Hospital, as long as you're close enough to it. You missed me too. Oh, great. So we got a third one now. Mods? Mods, you know what to do with them. No, I'm just kidding. It's been a while though, man. Welcome back. Hope you're doing good. I saw your video on all the animations vaulting as a hunter over the pallet. They're so goofy, dude. Does still get rid of the hunt, unfortunately. I did test it. Persona Tree Hunt still goes away when you vault the pallet, unfortunately. But it is really cool. You used to only be the one to say you miss Psyche back in the day? Yeah, now we got a lot of simps nowadays. What could they possibly do? Oh, we have a gardener on the chair. I was like thinking, how could we possibly have someone already causing a calibration on that side of the map without even being on a cipher? I don't know how we're fooling this lawyer, but this lawyer is just running into a wall apparently. Oh, we just made a good wall for him. Okay, it's not so bad though. Okay, we unironically have to use our charge attack there because our regular attack wouldn't have hit there. Probably, at least probably not without like risking getting pallet stunned. Know your charge attacks, guys. Know your charge attacks. She's still breaking chairs, by the way. So, we have a grand total of 1 cipher shaking. Like, I don't even know if I camp this. I guess we'll just camp this just to be safe. That, I think, was another rocket chair or graveyard. I honestly can't tell at that point. Okay, Explorer just picked up a page, so we know nobody's rescuing at this point. That was a page. I mean, honestly, Gardener could still go rescue, though. Because their cipher's not shaking. We have to play this so safe. Gardener could definitely come in for the rescue here. Looks like she is. Or at least was planning to. Unless she's just doing that cipher. I can't even tell. Oh no, she's here. Don't know why she's here now, but she's here. I do like this gardener skin. This skin is nice. I just prefer Monstrous Bird a little bit better than this skin. Also, it looks like she's lagging really bad. We have matches where, like, people play half decent and I lose, and then we have matches that just, they're not even struggling in balloons anymore. Also, I forgot to put on the accessory again, my bad. I got it, guys. We've been losing because we don't have the accessory. That's why. Okay, Explorer just picked up a second page. But I don't know if the cheerleader is rescuing, so we gotta play it safe again. Because, I mean, literally 0 cybers are shaking. We have no info on where they are. I guess that's fine for us, right? I mean, we're still killing people. We just don't know where they are. Okay. She already slipped by. Never mind. Shouldn't be the end of the world, though. Yeah, we gotta put the accessory back on. We're losing because we didn't have the accessory, obviously. Could you walk into me? Nah. Also, she hasn't one time set up her bubble here or done anything with it. Also, she's using, like, the worst palettes in the game that I can think of right now. This palette is only rivaled by the one right next to Shaq on this map. Is Explorer still here? It doesn't look like it. What did he do here then? He didn't even pop the cipher with his page? He went over here to pick up a third page? Dude, this guy. This guy, does he think there's infinite pages on the map? Alright, I guess we'll chase this guy. No, I really want to make sure we kill this guy and just move on to the next match. Yup. Can we get a double hit? Ah, well, I messed it up. Can you say hi to my cat? Hello, cat. Thank you for watching the stream, my man. Nope, she is not even going for the window. Okay, my bad for charging the attack. I thought you'd go for the window. I thought you would. My mistake. Running out in the open was the better option. What makes a palette a good palette versus a bad palette? It's mostly based off of how easy or how difficult it is for the hunter to go around the palette. The harder it is for a hunter to go around the palette on either side, the better it is as survivor. Now you do have to keep in mind that many palettes are very weird in the fact that their wall is long on one side, but it's super short on the other. So what that means is basically if you have a palette and you are on the short side, then that's a bad palette in that situation. Because there's not a whole lot you can do. The hunter's going to be able to easily go around the palette. If you drop it early, you basically need a palette stun. Very often, I'll say that a bad palette, you need to get a palette stun, and that's usually how it goes. Why? Because if you drop it, you're stuck in this vaulting mind game that you're always going to lose against the hunter. So you got to be careful with it. But if you're on the long side of the wall and you approach the palette from the long side and you get the hunter to be stuck on the long side, then that is way better, because that way, if you drop the palette and you try to go around the palette, no matter which side you go around, you can safely vault without getting hit. Now, of course, it's not that simple, because if the hunter can still see you, some hunter abilities like the violinist note could take it. I don't think I've ever seen someone use a flywheel inside of a cheerleader boost. But anyway, if you're on the long side of the wall, that's usually a safer palette in that situation. The safest palettes would be stuff like this palette right here, where not only is every single palette, every single wall blocked. By the way, really far chair. Did I have a closer chair? Oh, you know what? It's because Gardener broke every chair here. That's why nothing was lighting up. But with this palette, not only is every single side of the wall blocked off, so the hunter can't easily go around it, but also you even have windows there. So if you don't want to use the palette, you can quickly opt to use the window and save the palette, and that way there's so many options that you have as a survivor, that the hunter has to play around, and they don't know what you're going to choose to use at a certain time. I mean, those windows are really good. The windows themselves could be bad depending on the situation you're in. Like, we could say the same thing about those windows themselves, right? If we just look at the windows by themselves and just forget that there even is a palette right there, the window area can range anywhere from really good to really bad. Because if the hunter is on the longer side of the window, then if you vault the window, it's always going to be a shortcut for you. The hunter's always going to either have to go around, Whether they go left or right, it's going to be very annoying. But if they're on the short side of the window and you vault, no matter which side you vault, the hunter's going to easily go around and already be right next to you. So you have to use the window, the right window, depending on what side is more difficult for the hunter to go around. And that's what really, that's what this game really is all about. When people talk about rock hiding, they mean identifying stuff like that. That you're able to pick a window or pallet that gives the hunter a hard time given their character. Given your character, but mostly who the hunter is. Because an area like Shack on Church is very good against something that has a hard time dealing with windows, like Hellember. Because Hellember has to vault those windows, and he loses his hunt. His hunt is his way of killing you. Without his hunt, he has a way harder time killing you. His ability also doesn't work on window vaults. The Fire Spirit, I should say. That's an example of like a window area being very good. But it's very bad against Geisha. Because Geisha can instantly fly over the windows, and it's like the window doesn't even exist. When she has built-in blink, every single window is basically like she blinks over. So unless you have multiple windows in a row, or you have a broken windows boost, a singular window is just going to easily get countered by Geisha. And that would be an example of like a really bad window. Even the same exact area. Shack on Church, right? Very, very exact same area. Very different hunters, very different results that you could get. One prevents you from getting hit entirely. The other could cause you to die very quickly. All because of the hunter. So it really does depend on a lot of things. It depends mainly on the hunter, and it depends on like the walls around the window. Now, the better the walls are around a window or a pallet, the harder it is for more hunters to counter it. But at the end of the day, some hunters have ways to bypass it. And it makes certain areas better than against other areas. Than against other hunters. A place like I said, Church Shack is better against most hunters, is good against most hunters. But then something like Geisha or Witching with his umbrella, you vault the window, he just umbrellas over. You can't really vault the window because you'll vault into him. And if you run away from the window, then he teleports with his umbrella to the other side. So it really does depend. It depends mostly on the hunter. But generally speaking, a bad pallet or a bad window is one where the hunter easily walks around. I mean, for example, this pallet right here is a very good pallet because the hunter has to break it. The best pallets in the game are pallets that the hunter has to break. Those are considered the best pallets. Of course, it's not that simple. It goes a little bit deeper than that. You also need to think about where to go next after they break the pallet. So if you have a really good pallet in an area, but the hunter breaks it and then you're screwed after that, then it's not a very good pallet because you didn't have anywhere to go afterwards. Chinatown has like a lot of these pallets where it's like on paper it seems like a good area, but then once you use that singular pallet, you really have nowhere else to go. Like this area right here on its own is pretty good, but then you don't really have anywhere else good connected to it, which is going to give you a really hard time no matter where you go. You're always going to be in a way worse area than the original pallets or windows. But it's a good start, and at the end of the day, the start is really what matters. The longer you can delay the first hit, the better for you. Because then you're able to use your hit later on to get to better areas after you've already used your resources. If you took a hit early on when you still had good pallets, then like what do? Do you leave the area? Also, I should be using my warp here. This is a very good warp opportunity. Do you just leave the area when you still have good pallets in the area? Well, you could say yes, you could say no. If you say yes, then you're leaving obviously behind good pallets. If you say no, then you're losing out on a speed boost, and you're not taking advantage of it. So you really want to try to take advantage of the good resources before you're forced to take a hit. And know when you're going to take a hit. Know what areas are the bad areas. Because if you can figure out when you're in a bad area and you stand no chance, then you could just leave the area entirely, expect the hit, and then you're using that boost to get to a better area that way. Instead of, man, Ripper versus Knight is like GG. Can we still kill him? Nope. The charge attack is just a little long. He's running into the Cyber. Don't see that every day. Also, we have 4 survivors in the same area. We're definitely going to want a chair here then. The other guy is going to go to greenhouse, but why we have 2 survivors in the same area after that is beyond me. I guess it's because the Knight rescued and Perfumer really wants to decode. That's why. But then the knight still didn't run away. Perfumer didn't run away. Like, no one's running away. I guess the hunter doesn't exist anymore? Hunter's not a threat, right? She is so fast, by the way. You guys see how fast she is? Does she have lots of rescue speed? She probably has Tide Turner. That looked like someone who's carrying a Tide Turner build with how fast she was moving. At least around the chair. Yes, she does have Tide. Also, I guess we're just standing in place. I'd love to hit you. Can I hit you? Yes, thank you. Professor is just giving me a free down. Or a free hit, I should say. And also, we're still next to the Cypher. Thank you, Prospector. He's so nice. He started his prediction early. That was smart. I was going to charge attack right there. But it is what it is. Unfortunate. It sucks now because we can't really leave this guy. We could leave, I guess. I mean, he's giving a very easy down. Why would we? But it's tough now because now he popped one of the most important Cypher machines that we're not going to be able to camp because it's done already, and we're across the map. On top of that, he's going to be able to rescue himself. This is really bad. I think we might tie this game. We're going to have to get lucky and find the Perfumer. Okay, thankfully he does not use the coffin. Thank God. That's going to force the knight to have to rescue, which means he won't be able to decode. They're fully relying on the Perfumer. So if I stop the Perfumer, we're going to be in a much better position. And yeah, knight's now going to have to go across the map to save Perfumer instead. Perfumer, of course, doesn't have anything useful against Ripper anymore. The best thing she could have done was go upstairs. And just use the pallet upstairs. And that would have delayed me a lot, honestly. Because we would have lost our invisibility. I would have to use a Ripper Blade to get it back. Now we know where the knight is. Embalmer doesn't really have anything to do. He could use the coffin on the Perfumer, I guess. But it's going to have to be on the second rescue. It's not going to be on the first. He could vault us and it's just going to break. Oh no, I only vaulted it 2 times. I forgot about that. I don't want to hit him with a big foggy blade. I don't really want to give him a speed boost. I'm expecting him to like try to dodge here. But it sucks. Like, I'm giving free rescue to these people because I'm thinking they're going to dodge, but I guess not. If they try to dodge, it would benefit us in that situation because then it would slow them down, make it easier for us to hit the next Foggy Blade. Or at least give us a chance to hit the next Foggy Blade without him gaining ground on the rocket chair. I was thinking, is he crazy enough to hide behind the rocket chair? I just had to know. And now this coffin is useless. If he used the coffin here, this could have been a completely different game. Because Embalmer rescues himself. I guess it would be pretty bad for us if the coffin was at hotel. Or for them. If the coffin was at hotel and he uses the coffin, then now I can chase both Embalmer and the Perfumer and I can stop the Cypher at the same time. But look at this. The coffin was at 2-story. Unless this was done after the rescue. I don't know when he put this coffin down. But if this coffin was already here, the first time I knocked him down. This is a very weird route. The first time I knocked him down, then it would revive him in an area away from the Cyphers. Yes, it would be next to the rocket chair, but they just need a guarantee that I'm constantly distracted with Embalmer. That there's never a time that I'm not done chasing someone. That Embalmer rescues himself while still Knight putting pressure on his own Cypher, still Perfumer putting pressure on her own Cypher. And I still have to worry about Embalmer, because if I don't put pressure on Embalmer, then Knight can decode, right? Because if I don't knock down Embalmer, then Knight doesn't have to rescue anyone. But if I leave, not only that, but if I leave Embalmer, then Embalmer can just start his own Cypher, so if I chase Knight, well then Embalmer's doing his own, Perfumer's still doing hers. We would be screwed. We would have 3 survivors, each one doing their own Cypher machine. And if we chase one of them, then there's still 2 Cypher machines being done. But all because of the fact that he didn't use that coffin, we had one person who couldn't do anything, a second person who couldn't do anything, and about to be a third person that was going to be the Perfumer, with 0 progress being done on the Cypher. That guy who had to save across the map now is now going to have to save across the map again for the Perfumer, so he's not going to be able to decode. It's going to make it easier to spot him out. Embalmer is going to be rescued much later on, meaning that he's not going to be able to start the Cypher as quickly. That coffin made, not using the coffin was a huge difference maker right there. I don't know who we should ban now. I guess we've been Mercenary. Or Gravekeeper, or something. Probably not. Those are like one of the first few that come to mind, but usually it's not worth banning a Rescuer. Because there's just so many Rescuers. It could make a difference in low tier, where people only know a few survivors. Oh yeah, Knight. Knight, that would have been a good ban. Should have been Knight. Oh man, we already finished ranked. Okay, this is going to be the last match. I got to go after this. Listen Photographer as the last match? No, it's Leo's memory. Man, Journalist is also pretty annoying for a Ripper. I mean, you could double hit. It's not the end of the world. But it's really hard to go for, like, Fire Blades even at a small distance, because you could just get blocked by the little bro. So, do you feel like you'll be playing at any 5 in 10 years? I might not be putting it on YouTube anymore, but I feel like I'd still be playing at any 5, yeah. Psyche, will you be playing Koa 19? Don't know, maybe. Dude, that's a huge difference here. That's 10 years. That's a lot can change in 10 years. Oh, you're asking 10 years in total. I thought you were asking for the 10th anniversary. Yeah, 10 years, definitely not going to be putting this on YouTube anymore. I'm going to miss you in 10 years, bro. I'm going to still be doing YouTube. I still want to do YouTube. But it's not going to be at any 5 anymore. Can't be doing at any 5 forever. At any 5 is not a profitable game. Well, it is a profit company, but I kind of said it like it's a non-profit game. It is definitely a profit game. It's just not something you can survive off of as a player. I guess if you're always playing competitive and you're always qualifying and you have an esports team, you could survive off of it. But it really wouldn't be like the best thing, I don't think. Unless you're like Dong Xuan, who I'm sure have a lot of people buying his merchandise and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's probably not going to be the best way, right? Is the owl now visible when she's invisible? Or am I just really blind? One, two, three. That guy's still shaking his cipher. Why is the journalist of all people not rescuing? These poor people are forced to rescue. Man. It would be nice if our invisibility was just a little bit faster there. Okay, well, at least that's a guaranteed hit. And now she doesn't want to rescue because it's after half. So, God Corner has quite a bit of progress. This server has good progress. Man, this is so annoying. Can we get a double hit here? I guess we'll just take one hit. I don't know why I didn't. I should have hit her right there, honestly. Should have hit her instead of breaking that pallet. I'd love to hit this guy, though. Flywheel? No flywheel. So you're still over there. Journalist is Journalist is still here. I'd rather chase Journalist. We could chair her by the Cypher if we could knock her down quickly. And also it's just an easier area to chase than Factory. Is she easier to chase than Prospector? Maybe, maybe not. Probably is, because Prospector could have a kiting ability. As opposed to something like, also I should probably, it would be nice to break that pallet. As opposed to something like Prospector, he could get us out of our invisibility much easily, especially with that Factory pallet. He doesn't even need a magnet for that. And like I said, kiting abilities could make it more difficult than just someone with Ty Turner. Are they healing? Oh yeah, they are healing. Okay, well then that's gonna come at a pretty big downside for them though. It's like they're still pretty much just as screwed, honestly. Now it's just after half. Like, they can make the rescue, but it's after half now. It's such a shame. It's, you know, that's something Ripper really lost over the years. When stuff like Opera, Go Man, Shadow Release, Hula Baloo. Nowadays, in top tier, against the best hunters in the game who are only playing the top 4 best hunters, when you see someone from far like that, like this Prospector, that is a guaranteed death. Something like Go Man, Opera, you're guaranteed dead. With Withering Effect, on Opera, you're not going to get much of a boost. With Go Man, you're going to get caged off before you can make the rescue with your boost. Shadow just teleports back to the chair. And Hula Baloo, well, he has no recovery, and it's insane how quick he stacks colors, especially with full presence. These kinds of hunters nowadays basically make it guaranteed to find people from far and kill them. I remember back then, something I'm going to need to update in the rescue guide is that something you could do is if you memorize how long it takes to walk to every rocket ship from every part of the map, that's just something you learn the more you play the game, not necessarily something you need to memorize right away from the start. It's not that important, but something you pick up over time, you know? You could spend more time on a Cypher machine, even if the hunter finds you from far. You elbow pad right past them, you shovel right past, there's nothing they can do. Their abilities are not like guaranteed hits. They don't have an incredible instant no cooldown speeds like they do now. Goman has no cooldown in his cage, obviously, just like Opera Singer. Shadow could make a tombstone essentially whenever she wants. Like, nowadays, it's basically GG with those kinds of hunters. But with stuff like Ripper, when you play something like Ripper, even Wax Artist, if that were against Wax Artist, that Prospector would be dead. But something like Ripper, there's always a chance. Something like Feaster, there's always a chance. Something like Photographer, honestly, even with his fast recovery speed, still not enough. Something like Flywheel could still screw you over, or a single magnet after the hit. Ripper, the problem with Ripper is that there's always a chance. There's always a chance of dodging it. Even if you find them from far, even if you know what to do, even if you know whether you should face camp or not, you could do all the right things, and there's always a chance you could get thrown off. I'm not trying to say we shouldn't have lost that one match. That was still my fault. But I am saying that there is something to be said about that. We got 14 wins today and 1 loss. Alright, guys. Yeah, they need a buff Violinist. Violinist is so sad. They kept nerfing him, and then they, like, why? Why? He shouldn't have even gotten the first nerf to begin with. The first nerf, I guess, you could argue he needed it because of, you gotta remember how hunters work. Like, they tried back then. Nowadays, it's not really even true. But when a hunter uses their ability, they kind of want the hunter to be punished if they missed. And back then, when Violinist used his note, like the super, super early version of Violinist was like when he used his note, there was no recovery time for swinging. You could use your note, and there was only a 1.1 second recovery time. So very often, because you have to remember, you have to wait like half a second for the note not to damage you. So if you only have 0.6 seconds to get behind a pal, that was almost impossible. Because you don't know where the note is going to appear. Sometimes you walk really far from the pound, and there's no way you're going to reach it in 0.6 seconds. The first nerf was nerfing Violinist's note, like attack speed after dropping a note. So to give you an idea, for those who don't know, when you use a tentacle as Feaster, to give you an example, you can't swing right away. That's a reason why Feaster is not a great character. Because you use your tentacle, and there's just 2 seconds where you can't swing, for no reason. Right? It's just something that was put in the game to prevent people going down instantly, I guess. Or Ripper. Ripper's a great example. We saw that today. Every time you swing, you're in a missed recovery. So there's like half a second where you can't do anything. Right? That basically means that if you try to anytime stuff someone in front of a rocket chair, it's never going to happen if the starter is smart. Because you can never swing faster than they can rescue. You're going to swing for a flywheel and then try to swing again, but your swing is always too slow to stop it. Once they reach the chair, it's over. There's no way you can stop the rescue. You can still get a double hit. Sometimes that's not even what you need. Sometimes you might need something like a down, like a stuff, or a farm, right? And it's just not going to be good. they have these kinds of downsides, and Violinist didn't really have that back then. That was the first nerf they gave to Violinist, so that he couldn't swing immediately after using a note. I say immediately, but it was 1.1 seconds, but essentially that's basically immediate compared to today, where it's 1.8 seconds, and he's been like that for literally years. That was literally the first few weeks, the first nerf they gave him, and that was the only nerf I could say that was like fair. Okay, the other one that was fair was when they nerfed how far you had to be from survivors to meditate, because when you had demon notes on you, they didn't disappear on their own. That was one of the things they nerfed over time, but I disagree with that nerf. What I agree with, and what they did eventually nerf, was how far you had to be from a survivor to meditate. Did you guys know that you had to be 32 meters away from a survivor to meditate and make demon notes go away? You had to be a whole hunter's radius distance away from another survivor. So I cannot tell you how often you'll be, I don't know, let's say after a rescue, you'll try to meditate to get rid of your demon notes to be able to decode the survivor at normal speed, right? And out of nowhere, as you're meditating, you stop meditating. And you might not have any idea where the survivor is if they're not pinging. So your life is just even more frustrating. But even if they are pinging, it's just such a waste of time having to walk out of their way. Or sometimes they'll need to go rescue next. There's nothing they can do to help it. They'll have to cross your path, and you can't meditate away the demon notes. And that was a huge thing that was really frustrating about Violinist. And I'm fine that they nerfed that. Nowadays, it's only 12 meters, though. Should it only be 12 meters? I think 12 meters is too small. Because honestly, you never notice it nowadays. Nowadays, when you want to meditate to get rid of your demon notes, you almost never pay attention to where survivors are anymore. 12 meters is a very small distance. I feel it should be 24 if they want to make it a notable thing about Violinists, to pay attention to stay away from your survivors, to make it an actual downside to working together. Because 12 meters, a lot of harassers can stun and then walk away from 12 meters and still clearly see what's going on while getting rid of their demon notes. That's not a notable thing for Violinists anymore. Not to mention, okay, now as big of a nerf that was, I don't remember if it was originally 12 meters. Maybe it was 24 meters at the start and then they further nerfed it. Don't know. I don't remember that anymore. But it was a pretty big nerf. And then they kept going. And I don't know why, but they just kept going with the nerfs. They did other things. I don't remember what other things. The first thing they did was nerf peepers, which nerfed all hunters, by the way. Peepers were not even that good of a trait, honestly. There were other better things to run. The main hunters back then were like Blood Queen and Dream Witch, who definitely were not worried about using peepers. You'd see the occasional Ripper who would drop a peeper, or maybe a Gamekeeper, but Gamekeeper even wasn't, I don't even think Gamekeeper was around back then. I think Gamekeeper was still garbage when Violinist released. I mean, Violinist was literally better in every way. Even now, if the pre-nerf Violinist probably would be better than pre-buff Gamekeeper overall. It depends. They did make Gamekeeper a lot better nowadays, but definitely when Violinist released, he was a lot better than Gamekeeper. So then they kept going with the nerfs, but the main nerf I remember after the Peeper nerf that I just feel was so unnecessary, besides the Peeper nerf being unnecessary, was the fact that they made notes disappear over time. Okay, so you completely are throwing out the whole mechanic of really needing to walk away from other survivors to lose your demon notes. You're forcing Violinists to constantly reapply demon notes instead of being able to focus on other survivors, especially if they're harassing, right? And the worst part about it was by making demon notes disappear faster, they essentially tripled how fast it took to get rid of demon notes entirely. So when you meditated, you only had meditation speed removing the demon notes. Now, ever since they made it so that you remove demon notes on your own, for some reason the devs thought it was also a good idea to combine that with meditation. So now you remove demon notes basically twice as fast as you used to, maybe 3 times as fast. Like, it would genuinely take like a solid 12 seconds back then to remove your demon notes from start to finish. But nowadays, because of the fact they go away on their own, so before you even need to start meditating, it's probably like gone by like 1/3 of the way. And then when you start meditating, it combines the fact that it regularly goes away on its own. So it's so bad for Violinists now. If they want to make Violinists better, that's the first thing that needs to go. Removing demon notes on your own would maybe be a little bit much for a start. Knowing the devs, I would probably do it if I was a game dev, because Violinists is like through the roof garbage. But if they want to go slow, the best thing you can do with Violinists to go slow is to just make it so that when you meditate, it's just slightly faster than not meditating, or like at the very least don't make it combine with just removing on its own and meditation. Those two things should not combine, and just make it way too fast to remove demon notes. Honestly, you could get rid of demon notes in the middle of a kite sometimes if the violence is just really far behind, or maybe you're like stuck in a situation where he already used his note and you guys are just standing at a pallet that he can't do anything at. Like, you can just vault on either side or whichever side he goes on, right? So he just kind of wants to lock you in waiting for his next note. That's very often enough time for Sarai to just remove their notes. So whatever debuff they had is just gone now. It's just not good. It's not good at all. They're doing these other buffs to Violinist, like they buffed his full presence and they buffed his pallet breaking speed, right? And that's great, but the full presence buff, I must say, is basically useless. If the survivor remembers about the buff, it's just as easy to counter it. Okay, I think they made it go slightly further now. Or no, I think that's the same. But they made it so that the main note triggers fast. Like, the main note, the notes that you dropped will actually do damage again, which is nice. But like I said, people are going to be able to avoid that. Fixing his pallet breaking speed a little bit was nice, but it's still one of the slowest in the game. It's just Violinist needs better buffs, man. They're buffing things that don't matter in the early game. Pallet speed is great. That's a great start. But some of the slowest pallet breaking hunters in this game some of the slowest pallet breaking hunters in the game are still some of the best. So pallet breaking, I feel, is not going to be the concern here if they want to make Violinist a top tier hunter. Like, it's great. I'm glad they're doing it. Because Violinist is not really a hunter who can really afford to run fast pallet breaking, to be honest. He doesn't have that mobility, and he really needs detention. The note, it could be easily dodged, so you need the detention. And you don't have good mobility, so the trump card for late game is essential. You don't really have the freedom of your Persona build to just do what Opera does, because Opera literally does everything, so you can just slap on faster pallet breaking and call a hunter there. Everything else is basically extra. Right, Violence doesn't have that. So I guess it's a good nerf, good buff, if we're considering him and what kind of hunter he is. But I think in the long run, he needs to have better abilities. That's really what defines every single hunter in this game, their ability. Not really their stats. Because if we're looking at stats, how is Helmer not one of the best if he vaults windows instantly? How is he not one of the best if he can walk through a pallet while it's being broken by his clone? If we're looking at stats and time it takes to break a pallet, then technically Helmer should be at the top because he vaults windows the fastest. And if you think about it, he doesn't have to break pallets. He walks through them. Okay, so then how come he's one of the worst hunters? Because his clone is easily countered. His ability itself is bad. It doesn't work on windows. And once you have to vault the windows, Hellenberg, you're screwed because you don't have anything else to follow up with. Why do you not have anything else to follow up with? Because of your abilities. Because of your abilities. So everything in this game is dependent on abilities. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest vaulting hunter in the game if you can't follow up anything after the vault. If after you push the survivor away from that window and force them to leave, what are you going to do to follow up with? Nothing. You just walk after them and hope they don't make the next area. And that's why Hellenberg's not a good hunter. Because he just doesn't have a follow-up. Compared to Opera Singer, exact same opposite situation. Or, that's it. That's stupid. Opposite situation. Did you guys know that Opera has one of these... In fact, I checked. It is the slowest window vault in the game now. After they buffed Spider's vault speed, Opera is now the slowest window vaulter in the game. Yes. Even slower than something like Mad Eyes nowadays. Mad Eyes is pretty slow at vaulting windows. 2.2 seconds. Let's compare it to Spider. Spider's still pretty slow at a speed of 2.31. But then you look at Opera, and Opera's 2.33. Let's be honest here, that's basically the same. So Spider now vaults the same speed as Opera, is another way of thinking about it. But everyone here knows how slow Spider vaults. But did you know Opera is the same as Spider, if not slower, by 0.02 seconds? And does that matter at all? Did anyone here know that? Did anyone here notice how slow Opera vaults? You probably didn't, because of how fast she catches up to you after the vault and hits you anyway. Right? That's a great example of how your stats don't matter there. It's your ability to follow up that matters. That you vaulted, you put yourself at such a huge time deficit, the biggest time deficit in the game for a hunter vaulting a window, and you still caught up no problem. Spider is very noticeable because Spider is all about chaining webs. The window vault is specifically designed so that Spider doesn't have enough time to chain another web unless she already had stacks of web right before she vaulted the window or during the window vault. You just don't have enough time. That's the design choice done by the devs for balance purposes. And like I said, all hunters, they have some sort of like really slow downside. Like I said, Feaster can't swing immediately after using a tentacle. Ripper can't swing immediately after using a foggy blade. Violinist can't swing immediately after using a note. Spider can't vault fast enough, at least without expending tons of webs, to still keep chaining more webs. If you do that, you're probably not going to have webs afterwards. Right? You'll have time to use them, but do you even have any webs left is the question. Right? They actually care about the balance for these older hunters, which is why they're never going to beat the main 4 hunters in this game. And their refusal to nerf the main 4 hunters in this game is why the rest of these hunters are always going to be falling way farther behind. Because their abilities are just way better. Their abilities are better in every way because they don't have downsides. Their abilities just don't have downsides. They have some downsides, like Shadow can't leech every 43 seconds. But what kind of downside is that? What kind of downside is that? When you look at something like Dream Witch, and Dream Witch can't leech every 45 seconds. And that's at 1,000 presence. Right? With something like Shadow, her default is what, 47, I think? Okay, so it's slightly slower. But then it completely gets buffed to 38 at 1,000 presence. So she is faster at 0 presence than Dream Witch at 0 presence, and she is faster than Dream Witch at 1,000 presence. She has less of that downside. Of course, she can't have multiple stacks of abilities, but what's so scary about that when you basically have instant guaranteed hits every 43 seconds with full presence? Compared to Dream Witch, who has a specifically balanced full presence ability to allow better map control, but it doesn't help her chase. It's specifically designed like that, so that even though her map control is better, she will suffer more on the chase. But since Shadow is already literally one of the best in mobility, instead of giving her something that slightly buffs her mobility so that she's not so powerful on chase, they buff her chase immensely. And make her a huge threat. Now, of course, Shadow is quite bad against Survivor's endgame. But with people running Sui in tournament, honestly, is that even a concern? Because you have to remember, Survivors are faster with their Persona build, right? They move 5% faster, which is enough to avoid getting 100 if you run in a straight line. But in tournaments, honestly, with a lot of Survivors running Sui, that's half the time not even a concern. Granted, flywheeling out will still counter it, but flywheel is quite expensive. It only comes back every, like, what, 135 seconds? I even forget it. What is the cooldown nowadays, anyway? It is 135. It used to be 100, and then they nerfed it to 120. Now it's 135. Anyway, I mean, these hunters are just literally better than the others in every single way possible. I feel like Dream Witch is... It's a little bit sketchy, because sometimes Dream Witch is better than Shadow. But overall, Shadow, I'd say, has less counters than something like Dream Witch. There are more areas where you could just blindly use your abilities and they'll still work, as opposed to Dream Witch. You might use a patroller and they might fully counter your patrol depending on the area you're in. What do? You just can't use your ability then. You gotta force them out first. Kind of like Ripper, right? If they're at a distance, you could throw your Foggy Blade, but it's not gonna go well for you. Right? So you're forced to respect that. These hunters, they completely disrespect Survivors nowadays. So it's like... It's a huge problem. They really need to fix it, but if anything, they're not going to fix it because Hula Blue literally got a cooldown nerf. Cooldown buff. They buffed it from, like, what, 18 seconds to 16 seconds for its clones. They were going the right direction, and they just went backwards because they're like, oh, China's saying Hula Blue is a TIE hunter. Right? They're just afraid of change, honestly. I think that's what the devs are afraid of. They're afraid of change. Anyway, after that long discussion, I think we're going to finally end the stream. Is this a new coordinator? Yeah, this is a new coordinator. Let's put it on. New coordinator graffiti. Let's go. Alright, guys. Let's roll the dice, open up some essences I have, and we're going to call the stream there. We actually got 24. We have quite a bit. Does have a history of just buffing things for hunters and barely matter after nerfing them to the ground. Yeah. Anything that's like not the top tier, they may buff a lot, but if it turns out to be too good, they immediately revert it. And when I mean too good, I mean even just being A tier, not even the best in the game. Quite a ways down they could be, and they'll still nerf them. But it's they barely touch Gomen. They barely touch Hula Blue. I mean, it's so obvious. They don't even try to hide it. Like, one of the first nerfs to Goman was nerfing his useless 1000 presence ability. That 1000 presence ability exists because at the very least, the devs realize that his base power is so strong, he honestly doesn't even need any more presence abilities after 0 presence. Like, that's how strong Goman is. At the very least, they recognize that. But then there's a problem, because now they use that as an excuse not to actually nerf him. They'll nerf his other abilities that don't help him, if I'm being honest, and call that a nerf. And be like, oh, we're going to monitor Goman. Right. Oh yeah, Hellember nerf plus buff. They buffed Hellember, and they didn't even give him a chance to show if he's going to be good. Like, that is some of the most ridiculous stuff. Like, it almost feels like the worse the hunter is, the more likely they are to not give that hunter a chance at all to ever come back. Like Hellember, like they nerfed Feaster. Guys, they nerfed Feaster, bro. I still remember that. They nerfed Wu Chang. I remember when they nerfed Wu Chang massively. It's absolutely ridiculous. But Feaster was criminal. Feaster was absolutely criminal. They made him move slower. They made it so that tentacles don't charge faster depending on how many survivors have a heartbeat near you. That used to be a mechanic, by the way, a really cool mechanic. He was the only hunter in the game who actually had a mechanic around heartbeats, how, like, the more survivors that are actually in the terror radius, the faster he gets his ability, which actually makes sense. I mean, bro, he's literally a terrifying, like, eldritch horror. It makes perfect sense for him to be related to that. Like, he literally defines the heartbeat. He's the one hunter who, if anything, deserves to have a heartbeat and something related to the heartbeat. And they took that out. And then obviously the Hellember nerf / buff, where they buffed Hellember. They did pathetic buffs, like they increased his movement speed slightly. They increased his pallet breaking speed slightly. They increased his hitbox slightly. I don't even know if they did that, if I'm being honest. I'm just kind of making stuff up here. But my point is, they did such tiny buffs that you can't remember them. And they leave you with literally one of the biggest nerfs Helmer's ever gotten, to make up for those tiny buffs he got. They nerfed his Fire Spear, so that in front of rocket chairs, instead of taking 3 seconds is what it used to take to move, now it takes 4.5 seconds. Why? That completely defeats any buff they've ever given Hellember now. That was the one thing making him good. Now, I completely understand. They want to make his chase better, and with hunters in this game, if a hunter generally has very good chase, they don't want to make their camp too strong. Blood Queen is a great example, right? Like, Blood Queen has a guaranteed hit with the mirror every single time, unless hunter is countered by an ability. Abilities are literally the only way to counter a Blood Queen. There's no amount of rock cutting that will save you. Right, that is pretty BS. So at the very least, they did make it so that she doesn't have anything on camp, right? And also similar idea. She basically has worthless 1000 presence. She has worthless max presence. They're good training wheels for Blood Queens starting out, but at the highest level, these abilities are basically useless for Blood Queens. They kind of did the same thing as they did for Gomen, except way weaker. Blood Queen is a way weaker hunter, but they still did that because they recognize, hey, the ability to just get a guaranteed hit anywhere you want, just walk through walls with the mirror, is pretty strong. Let's not make her stronger in other ways, right? But Hellember is not one of those hunters. Hellember is not one of those hunters with very strong chase that can just ignore any pallet area. He is very far from that. He's not even close. In fact, he still honestly can easily get 3 cyber kited, sometimes 5 cyber kited, without even ever getting a chair, depending on the survivor he's chasing and the team comp he's going into. And it just doesn't do anything. Like, those tiny buffs didn't do anything, and if anything, he's punished, because when he finally does get someone down, his camping is only made 10 times harder. Horrible. It's like a huge blunder on the devs' part, but I almost feel like there's no way they're this dumb at this point. I feel like they just don't want to upset the Chinese community at this point, because clearly that's what it seems like if they buffed Hula Blue, because they complain he's a Thai hunter. Is that so bad that Hula Blue's a Thai hunter? And honestly, that's not even true when you compare it to most hunters in this game. He is still a way better hunter than most hunters in this game. Like, relatively speaking, he is still way better. they should double down on nerfs on these top tier hunters so they can buff the others stronger and bring in a whole new meta, right? Maybe if they buffed something like Hellenberg really well, we would finally see Hellenberg go in a different direction instead of being fully dependent on camping. Maybe if they made his Fire Spirit actually chase, right? And vault over windows and block windows. There would be a strategic thing to think about with Hellenberg that could make him very strong. But they don't do that. They don't do that. They just leave him and be like this YOLO hunter, which on the one hand is fun, on the other hand is not fun when you get fully kited by people who actually know what they're doing. Right? It's a huge headache. Right? And then you're left with like stuff like Go Man. It's like you like after a while I understand, like I guess people don't want to lose the progress they've made on learning about a certain hunter. But part of the importance of being a top player is being adaptable. That's what really defines you as a top player, that you're adaptable, you're able to make your own strategies when changes occur, that you don't wait for what the norm comes, because by the time the norm comes, there's already a new norm, and you need to always adapt and become the better player that way. That's what should, in my opinion, define a competitive player. Not just how good you are, but how good you are at adapting. Because if you are good, you will be good at adapting, instead of just copying what other people do. All right? If you never change anything, then it's only a matter of time before people just copy what other people do. And at that point, it's difficult to like hash out who are the people who are adaptable, who are strong in adapting and changing and coming up with strategies very quickly, and who are the people who are just copying. And so it becomes a battle of like who gets lucky not getting found by Go-Man when everyone is hiding, right? Which team gets luckier? Which team had the better positioning, all depending on wherever the hunter just randomly decides to go. There are things that hint them to go in certain directions, but at the end of the day, you could just pick the worst hiding spot and still completely get away. I've had it happen. You guys have had it happen where you just pick hide spots that really shouldn't have worked 90% of the time, and you got away with it. And the hunter probably felt that in the match result. Right? If that's what it comes down to, then what kind of competitive game is that? Thankfully, there's still a ton of strategy in Identity 5, so it's not the end of the world. Right? That's why I still play Identity 5 competitively. I still find it a lot of fun because there's so many different areas that really, every game really is still different. No matter how much you know about the hunters, every area still is a little bit different. Every game is going to be a little bit different. Even one different survivor can completely change the whole outcome of the match, even if all the other 4 characters stay the same, including the hunter. If the other 3 survivors and the 1 hunter stays the same and just 1 survivor changes, it can completely change the whole match with what kind of support you have. And it would definitely change the match if the hunter changed their character. You completely change the way you play. Hey, are you still here? I need to give you mod rights. I mean, I don't need to, but you've been around so long, I may as well, right? Oh yeah, you're still here. At least you might not still be here, but I see you in the chat. Do I have the rest of you guys mods as like standard moderators or managing moderators? Because now there's a difference. Can manage blocked words and change chat modes in live. Standard moderator is good enough. I don't need you guys making it subscriber only mode in case someone goes rogue. I'm never gonna do that, and if I'm never gonna do it, I don't need anyone else to do it. Anyway, you're a mod now. You should be a mod, right? Yes. Well, I wonder if there's a difference in the icon if you choose a managing moderator. Probably not. Just to test, I will do it for Tay. But I'm going to take it back, but I just want to see. I want to see what if the managing moderator has a different icon than the standard moderator. Yo, Tay, could you say something? I made you a higher up moderator now. Not forever. I just want to see if there's like a different tag. Nah, it's still the same tag. Okay. But you are going to be a regular moderator. Everyone is a regular moderator. Because the things you can do as a higher up moderator is like stuff I can do, but I never do those things. Like you can manage blocked words and like blacklist certain words. I don't have that. Yeah, it does look the same. Alright, guys. That's going to be it for the stream today. Pretty chill hunter stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream, be sure to come on to more streams just like this every Monday and Thursday from 20 to 22 EST time zone. Also, join the Discord server. You guys are new to Identity 5, to Discord. want to try to find a community, get better at the game. We have lots of guides in certain IDV channels. Like, I don't know. My mods one day made like a guide channel where you can look at all my guides that I've made that helped a lot of people out. So, or you could just look at my most popular videos. I guess that also works. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like. I will see you guys all later. Take care. This has been Psyche. Peace out, everybody.